Type these coordinates into Google Maps and you might wish you had not. A blood-red lake in the middle of a war zone. A perfect pentagram carved into the ground. A dock that looks like it captured a crime in progress. These are real places and real images anyone can find. But the deeper you go into Google Maps and Street View, the more you start to feel like you are not supposed to be looking. Stay until number 1, where an entire island simply vanished from Google Maps, leaving behind a black void in the middle of the ocean. Google Maps feels harmless. You zoom in, you drop Street View, you look around. But millions of cameras have been recording the world for years, and the internet never blinks. It catches accidents, strange symbols, abandoned cities, and things that look a little too much like horror movies. These are 10 of the creepiest things ever found on Google Maps. 10. The desert patterns of China. In the middle of the Gobi Desert, far from any city, Google Maps reveals massive bright white patterns scratched into the sand. There are grids of lines, perfect circles, and shapes that look like giant targets, each big enough to cover entire neighborhoods. From the ground, they would be meaningless. From space, they are unavoidable. Some researchers think they are calibration targets for spy satellites and test ranges. To everyone else, they look like messages written for something watching from above. Believed to be linked to military or satellite testing. 9. The giant pentagram in Kazakhstan. Zoom over a lonely corner of Kazakhstan and the land suddenly forms a perfect 5-pointed star. A massive pentagram is carved into the ground, ringed by trees and old roads, so large it can only be seen from the air. From above, it looks like the set of a ritual or the logo of some secret group. On the ground, it is just quiet grassland and crumbling earthworks. Most historians think it is left over from a Soviet-era park or camp. But the shape is unmistakable, and Google Maps captured it forever. Believed to date back to mid-20th century planning. 8. The blood-red lake in Iraq outside Baghdad. A rectangular lake glows a deep, unnatural red on Google Maps. From above, it looks exactly like a pool of thick blood filling the basin, standing out against beige desert and concrete streets. The water's color is most likely from algae, pollution, or industrial runoff. But the satellite image went viral long before any calm explanation did. For a while, this anonymous reservoir became one of the most disturbing bodies of water on the internet. 7. The Badlands Guardian in Canada. In southern Alberta, zoom into a patch of dry, eroded hills and something impossible appears. The landscape itself forms the face of a person in profile, complete with nose, mouth, chin, and a feathered headdress. Shadows and gullies become eye sockets and lips. A road and well pad line up exactly where an earphone and wire would hang. It is just erosion and coincidence, but the result looks like a giant stone guardian staring up from the earth. A living face drawn by wind and rain, only visible from the digital sky. Nicknamed the Badlands Guardian by online explorers. 6. The plane frozen in a lake. In a quiet lake in the United States, Google's satellite view shows the ghostly shape of a passenger jet underwater. Its wings, tail, and fuselage appear as a faint, pale outline beneath the surface, as if a plane had crashed and never been recovered. News outlets picked up the image and people began asking if they had just found an unreported disaster. Experts later pointed out that fast-moving planes can appear smeared in satellite composites, especially over reflective water. The jet was likely flying above, caught as a transparent phantom. Still, the screenshot looks exactly like a drowned aircraft resting on the lake bed. Located in a lake near Seattle, Washington in some map versions.
5. The possible crime scene on a dock. In a small Dutch marina, Google Maps once showed a wooden pier with a long dark streak trailing from the edge. Two human figures stood nearby. One appeared to be leaning over something at the end of the dock. Zoomed in, the dark streak looked horribly like a blood trail dragged along the planks and into the water. The image spread online as people speculated about a murder caught from space. Later, locals pointed out that the blood was almost. Google eventually updated the photo, but that first image still makes stomachs drop. 4. Island of the Dolls, Mexico. South of Mexico City, canals wind through floating gardens called chinampas. On one overgrown island, Google Street View drifts past something straight out of a nightmare. Hundreds of decaying dolls hang from trees and fences, their eyes clouded, their limbs missing, their faces stained by rain. Legend says the island's caretaker began hanging dolls to appease the spirit of a drowned girl. Over decades, visitors brought more, until the trees themselves seemed made of plastic limbs and empty stairs. From Street View, you float silently past this haunted grove, the dolls frozen in mid-swing forever. 3. The ghost people of Street View. Sometimes the creepiest thing on Google Maps is not what is there, but what is missing. Street View images are stitched together from many photographs taken as the car drives past. If someone moves between frames, the software can accidentally erase or duplicate them. The result is entire families with no faces, people with stretched limbs, or headless bodies walking down sidewalks like casual zombies. Most are harmless glitches, simple math errors in stitching. 2. North Sentinel Island. From above, zoom into the Bay of Bengal and a small green island appears, ringed by bright blue shallow water. No roads, no cities, no harbors, just thick jungle. This is North Sentinel Island, home to one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth, a people who violently reject outsiders. When satellite imagery is clear enough, you can make out crude huts along the shore and narrow paths leading into the trees. There are no Street View cars here, no tourist photos, and no legal way to approach. From space, it looks peaceful. On the ground, any boat that comes close risks a hail of arrows. 1. The island that vanished from Google Maps for years. Sailor's charts showed a tiny landmass in the Coral Sea between Australia and New Caledonia. Early versions of Google Maps showed it too, a dark, jagged shape surrounded by deep blue. Then a research vessel sailed right over its supposed coordinates and found nothing but open water. No reef, no shoals, no hint of land beneath the waves. Shortly after, the island quietly disappeared from Google Maps. In some versions, it left behind a strange black rectangle, as if reality had been erased and patchily repainted. Cartographers now call it a phantom island, likely born from a centuries-old mapping error. Seeing a place appear, go viral, and then be deleted from the digital globe feels like watching the world itself glitch. You have just toured 10 of the creepiest discoveries hiding in plain sight on Google Maps. From giant symbols carved into deserts and lakes that glow blood red, to ghost planes, glitch people, and docks that look like crime scenes, the digital eye in the sky has captured moments our brains want to turn into horror stories. We looked down on an island of dolls, stared at an armed and isolated tribe from a safe distance, and watched an entire island vanish from the map as if it had never existed. Which of these finds unsettled you the most? Would you dare open Street View on the island of the dolls at night? Do you think the dock in the Netherlands looks like a real crime, or just wet wood and imagination? How many other strange things do you think are still hidden in untouched corners of the map, waiting for someone to zoom in? If you want more deep dives into the internet's weirdest discoveries, hit like and subscribe. Next time, we will explore real photos scientists still struggle to explain, from bizarre deep sea shapes to sky images that look like glitches in the universe itself.